What's up, guys? Coach Chris with the Silverback Podcast, and today I got Coach Darwin, Coach Brian. We're gonna talk about the love of baseball because it's Valentine's Day. All right, guys. So on today's episode, we're just gonna go ahead and run through like why we love baseball so much. So I'm gonna let you guys start because I always start first. So
Go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
thought I was your Valentine.
Huh? You are?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't remember why I fell in love with baseball, but I know why I'm in love with baseball now, like how when it starts out. Playing catch with your dad, I guess, kind of that's how it starts out. Usually with family members or like other kids on your team, and just playing in the backyard, really, playing at school.
Man, I fell in love with baseball. I remember I was like 5 years old. I was seeing the guy playing. You know how we play in the Dominican on the street and shit.
yeah.
We were like, they were having so much fun, and my mom never let me like get out of the house.
Now you can't go play
One
with those
time-
guys.
I went to school, got out of school, didn't take class. That was the worst day, and went to the field with all my friends. And I said, "Yo, you gotta put me down a league, bro. Come on."
Yeah. For me, I remember I was like 11 years old about. My father took me. It was behind the project building. He took us in the little schoolyard we had there. And he just like, I don't know what got into him, but he was like, all right, we got to teach him to play baseball. So he just took me and my little brother to go play catch. And I remember he would get frustrated if we didn't catch the ball. But that's good old Dominican dad for you. Like, you better catch the ball. I'm out here wasting
He
my
didn't slap
time.
you.
I'm pretty sure he didn't slap me because he knew that he was gonna have to work for it to get me. But my little brother definitely got decked a couple of times.
I got decked a lot of times.
I never got hit.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
How old were you? How old were you, Brian, when you first started?
I was 6.
Yeah, I was definitely late to the game, but that's why I always say to most of the parents don't worry about starting so early, because by 11 to 12 they're gonna really figure it out. And Dominican is different because they raising you to be ready by 16, 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
But over here at least hey, when your kid want to start, let them start. But I remember for me it was more of I didn't want to play basketball because obviously I'm not that tall. And I would always end up having to get in a fight playing basketball because it was just they wanted to be too rough unnecessarily. I didn't mind the roughness. It was just all right, I'm gonna end up fighting.
Right.
And then with football, I wanted to play football, but in New York City, it's not as big as over here. So they don't have little 7-on-7s. Or if they did, I had no clue about it. I know my father that had no clue about it, so I didn't do it. But I couldn't remember vividly just playing catch. It was cool.
Yeah, I feel like for me, growing up, playing wiffle ball is something that can relate to you guys. How you guys used to play, just very minimalistic, just really a plastic
Whatever
stick.
you got, yeah.
Yeah, and a wiffle ball, right? So every summer, all the summer, any time of year, actually, really, if I had somebody else to throw with me, I would, we would play home run derby or, we would play one-on-one or whatever,
Yeah.
and just I'd be, pitching or whatever and hitting. That was the best pastime, really, playing with family and doing that stuff.
I feel like at least now it's harder for those things to happen just because
Yeah.
there's a sense of danger almost outside.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, it was yeah, go outside. Now it's it just seems like everybody says, oh, the kids don't want to go outside, but it's really the parents that don't want to let the kids outside.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because everybody's kind of afraid of I don't know what. As parents, the parents used to be like, hey, go to the park. And the cell phones weren't out the same. The kids weren't connected the same.
No, definitely not.
But it just seems like there's this sense of fear with letting your kids out
They're
now.
7 years old now. They have iPhone 16.
But they don't go
Oh my
outside.
God.
But they don't go outside though.
I didn't have no communication. That's why my
It's
parents
true.
beat me up.
Get a whistle.
Every time I disappear for 6 hours.
Yeah, it's true. And look, we end up perfectly fine. So we're not condoning beating your kids, but what we're trying to say is there was a different freedom as a kid back then to engage in the community that now everybody tends to be a little bit more hesitant about just leaving your kid alone, and just letting them play with other kids. I didn't really start playing like on a team until I was like 12, I believe. Like they signed me up to a league. I remember it was in the Bronx. It was called Liga Paulino, and it was actually, I think they had to do with that kid that it was Danny Almonte that had got caught, the little league scandal. So it had something to do with, they were connected with him.
Yeah.
Cause I remember everybody talking about that, and the baseball season in New York City is real short. So I just remember not being so good that season, and then like pretty much from the time my father taught me how to catch, and then I like was obsessed with wanting to play. And I didn't want to do anything else. I got into boxing a little bit here and there, but for me, I really really loved it. I don't know. It was just I enjoyed every little
clicked,
bit of it. Yeah. So
You know how it's in the Dominican, like it's always a business. Baseball, I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
baseball as a business. I was trying to make it to get my family like on a really good
a
like,
step ahead. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's interesting you say that too, because for me, it was always, I'm going to get my mother out the projects through baseball. That's
Yeah.
how I thought about it. So I never thought about it, like, I didn't know what NCAA was or any of that. I just figured I would get scouted somehow or the way. So I played at a young age, like I was trying to get scouted then. It wasn't about, like, I didn't have any aspirations to go play college baseball. I ended up doing that after the military. So for me, it was like, damn, I'm gonna train so hard that if somebody sees me, either training or playing, they're gonna be like, I want that kid.
Yeah,
And that's how it
I'll
was
notice
for
you.
me at least. So
Bro, for me it was like, man, I have a lot of support. You know, my grandfather and everything. Like, he was the first one taking me to the little league. I remember because I was like, man, you gotta put me on the field. My dad never wanted to
yeah.
because it was scary, you know. But like, I find my way, and then I start playing, bro. And then I start growing up, and then they were watching me, and I was like, I always had power, but I was skinny, like a skinny, bro. And I always
That's usually how it
smoked
works
the ball,
over
bro.
there.
And smoke it
Yeah.
until I turned 12, and that's when like it really started, bro. Like everybody was talking about me in the Dominican, like he got
Yeah.
talent, he got talent, he got talent. A lot of people were following me, you know.
It was cool. It's definitely cool showing up to the baseball field at a young age, and everybody knows your name. Like everybody knows exactly who you are.
Yeah.
They definitely want you to play with them, or it's just it was cool. It's a different environment. At least in New York City, it's cool because you have that Dominican culture, and then you got the Italians. You got everybody mixed in there, so it's a lot of attitude and all of that, a lot of pride. In Dominican, that's just life over there.
That's business.
How was it where you was growing up?
With me, it's like here. Really, honestly, like I didn't really take it too serious until I got to high school. Really,
Yeah.
is when they start, like here, like you can start getting looked at the colleges or the possibility of being looked at. Even scouts or whatever, if you're good enough. I think that was the typical way for us. We never really. Little League, you have all stars, right? That was that was like the thing.
There was no.
That
There
was
was
the
definitely
scouting.
no perfect game.
That was the scouting for Little League, right? So yeah, there's no.
There was
perfect
none
game.
of that. Like Select was probably just starting.
You have like
to roll
American
up.
Legion or like something
Yeah.
like that. That was your select team back in the day. Like for
Yeah.
us, like it was there was no select teams or like perfect game. Like Chris said, it was just
What about like a role model? I know
Very
you
select.
mentioned like Dawa mentioned his grandpa taking him to the baseball field.
I mean, honestly, my dad really
Yeah.
was just a sole person, really. That was always taking me to practice, always at the games, always, always there, really.
Yeah.
And my mom was there here and there. She's a workaholic, so she just worked a
Yeah.
lot. But my dad was always there. My grandma would come here and there. She lived like an hour and a half away from where we lived, so it was tough for her.
Yeah.
But during the summer and stuff like that, if we had like all stars or like tournaments or something happening, she would come down. But
For
that was
me,
pretty chill.
for me, it was a guy called Pedro. He's still training kids right now, but man, he trained the crap out of me. Like, I mean, you see it now when I take Juliet and I'm like, he rolling ground balls.
Yeah.
He'd do the same thing right in the back of the projects, the back of the schoolyard, and we just trained. We didn't know anything. We just trained hard. Like, you're gonna run today,
Just go
and you're gonna
at it.
run until you can't run no more.
Right.
You're gonna do as many sit-ups as you can until you can't no more. Like, you're gonna catch as many ground balls until there's no more baseball left.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where we didn't know exactly what we were doing, but we worked so hard to just get it right and figure it out without like all the little details. And I think that working so hard towards it was something that I drive towards too. I enjoyed every little bit
Yeah.
of training and
Yeah.
pushing myself.
Never get tired.
Nah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I still love it to this day. Obviously, the body's not the same, but
Yeah.
man, that was good. Like it's just, Dominican is different too, because I went a couple of summers to Dominican and played over there too, and I remember that sun is hot. You usually wake up super early, so you're at the baseball field already like 7 in the morning, because you're trying to beat that 12 o'clock sun, and you go pretty much all the way to 12 o'clock, sometimes even later than that. And you get home with a sense of accomplishment because you got that work in for that day, and yeah, that's a different feeling.
With me, when I had a game, I remember we played. Sometime we play Friday in the afternoon, and then Saturday morning. I used to wake up at 6 in the morning, bro.
Yeah,
And
Ready
I
to
didn't
go.
have transportation. I have to find my way.
yeah,
I had to ask for a ride like this on the lights.
yeah.
Hey, give me a ride, give me a ride. We
Yeah.
jumping in the cars with random people, bro. It's
Right.
dangerous, bro. But man,
I
that was
remember.
a good time, though.
Yeah.
And I remember all the places that live close to me. We used to stop on like a place that sells like chicken, like a Chinese place.
Uh-huh.
They sell chicken, fried chicken, bro. We made like, hey, you give me 20, you give me 20, you give me 20, why 5 piece?
Yeah.
And then we split it, finding a ride. We'd be like,
Yeah,
eating it.
yeah.
Hey, give me a
That
ride,
was the
give me a
most
ride.
fun
Yeah.
part. I remember.
Yeah.
Hey, we took it was a Dodge Caravan, like the old green ones,
Yeah.
and we rode. I remember we went to play. It's called Pelham Park. So it was a good ride from Harlem, where I grew up, and there was like a whole team of kids, and there was at least 12 of us in a little minivan, plus the driver. I remember we got to the block, and one of the guys looked at us like, "Damn, you guys are really Spanish." Hey, it was just like player after player after player after
Yeah,
player coming
yeah.
out that car, and it was
How
just
many more?
hilarious.
Yeah.
I remember we had so much fun because it was like we all cramped up in the car, we all sweaty and stinky, but we
Yeah.
beat somebody butt today.
Right.
And
Right.
and those same friends are the ones you like. Even now, if I go back home right now, everybody's like, "Yo, Lefty, what's up?" Because that's what they call me over there. What's up, Lefty? And those people you keep in your heart because you spend such a special time
Oh yeah.
playing with them. Like you go through so many things. And for me, it was different because it was like you from my projects. We ready to die with each other. We had a real strong camaraderie. It wasn't just about baseball. It was like,
Yeah.
hey, these kids over here messing with me. We ready to do whatever we had to do. And that's just the truth of how I grew up. It was that baseball family, that block family was it. So we just used baseball as it, and it kept us out of trouble. Some of the kids went their ways and got in trouble. Others, unfortunately, passed away. But that was for the most part how we stood out of it for the most thing. So, what about like maybe a memory that you guys could remember specifically about playing like before college or anything like that?
Bro, when I got selected to come like fly out from the Dominican to play in New York
Yeah.
with a team they call the Bombers, I think,
Yeah.
in the New York, Pensacola. Oh,
That's upstate New York. If it's in Pensacola.
no, that's like on the Bronx.
Okay,
They used to play. I don't remember this.
I know that in Inwood, where I used to play a little bit, there would always be a team that would come from the Dominican.
Bro,
to
so
play.
like, you know how this is divided, like Austin, like
Mhm.
stuff like
Yeah.
that by state. So we got like Mano Guayabo, like Santo Domingo Este, bro. I got
Yeah.
selected from Mano Guayabo, bro, to
Right.
play, to fly. They make like a select team, bro. I didn't sleep for like 4 days, bro. Just
Yeah,
thinking
I can
about New
imagine.
York.
Right.
Yeah.
New York, bro.
Yeah.
14 years old. That was the best thing that I ever like.
Yeah.
My
We're
best
gonna
moment,
work.
bro.
We're gonna work because one of the things we talked about with the coach in DR when we went this last time was like working on hosting a Dominican team over here.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
a cool
it's-
experience.
that's
Like
how
he
it-
said, because
that's
look,
so cool.
look at what Darwin's talking about right now. Darwin's a grown man already. That's something that he will never
Stuff.
forget in his
Never,
life. Just that illusion of being able to come
And
to
I used
America
to, I
to
used,
play.
I used to tell my mom, like, you know how like my favorite player was Derek Jeter. I was crazy, bro. I still have the books from Derek Jeter making the like plays that my mom got me, bro. My dream was like watch a game at the New York like Yankee Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember Jose Reyes took the whole team from the Dominican to watch a game, bro. That was the best experience, bro.
Yeah.
So sick.
And then we didn't like that's how I met my best friend that he passed away, rest in peace, you know. Like, I went to, like, their parents hold me, like,
Yeah.
hold me, like,
They
let me
hosted you.
stay, yeah,
Right.
they let me stay at their house for a
Yeah.
whole month. And that's how I met him. He passed away, and he's like, he was young, like
Yeah.
22 years old. But,
Those are different times. What about you, Brian?
The most significant or like most important, I don't know. Just there's a lot, but I go back to my last game I pitched in high school.
Yeah.
Like my regional semifinal game. So like we had a regional game that was played at this place called Washington Park, and then if you won that game to go to the final, then you played at where the San Jose Giants play, like the single A
Yeah,
California
yeah.
League team. So you got to go like to the big place to play,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like even though it's minor leagues, it's still like
Nah,
it's
it's
still
still a
legit.
professional stadium.
Yeah. So like I don't know, like the team that we played was Monterey High School. They had like 3 D1 kids on their team too.
3 D1.
So and I think we ended up losing 3-1, I think. We had some opportunities to like score some runs and just stuff happened or whatever, but that's what I remember. I remember battling. I remember like
Yeah,
fighting off.
grinding it
I'm throwing all my best stuff, all my my changeups locked in, but they're still kind of hitting it and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's like just you just dog fighting it, and yeah, we lost or whatever, but that always stuck with me. Like hey, like look who you went up against or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you battled the best that you could. And, yeah, it always stuck with me.
Yeah. For me, it was I threw 2 games in a row, so you could see how crazy we was.
Oh my god.
We didn't give a
don't think
damn
I-
about no
I
arm
don't
kick
think I
back
ever
then.
did that.
It was just
trying
like,
to
yo,
think
you
about
ready to
that
throw
one.
or not? Which one is it?
Yeah.
Like, so I remember I threw
Nonstop.
the first game that I threw a no hit and lost it. I was like, oh damn. I threw a no hit and we lost it in the
Yo.
last inning on some errors. And I was like, man, that's crazy. And I wanted to go after the team again after that. I was like, nah. They were like, you ready again? Cool. Because it was none of the, again, my pitch count was fairly low anyway because I already had pitched well.
Yeah.
But I remember pitching the second game too. We ended up winning that one. And then we hopped in the minivan, like I said, anyway.
Yeah. Cut out.
Shit, it might have been that same time. I can't remember specifically. But I remember everybody like being like crazy proud that day too. It was like, yeah, man, we expect you to do this because I just again, I threw really hard. I was never really big, and I can remember blowing it by everybody that day. And I was playing, I was like 13 or 14. I was playing 16U, so it was like some good competition for me at least. And I love every moment on the mound. It was definitely. I love to hit too. Because it was always cool just to hear the bat and the crack of it and everybody yelling when you run in the bases. But there was always something about me blowing the ball by somebody that just hit different for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, we talking about moments that we all passed and are history for us now, but they live with us. I think for us as coaches, especially, it's important that we like. I always try to remember when we training the kids in here that we are supplying those moments for them. And that's why we're so big on like messing with the kids in here and just talking trash to them, trying to make it fun. Yeah, there's times where we got to be hard as adults because there's a standard. But at the end of the day, it's baseball, man. And if any of us go anytime soon, which eventually, not soon, but if any of us go one day, the kids will say, hey, I remember that time when we were with Coach Darwin or Coach Brian or even Coach Chris. And we did this. So, like, for instance, I know Santi will one day talk about his trip to the Dominican. Jax, too.
Yeah.
They'll be able to say, yeah, I remember when I went to the Dominican to play baseball, and we
I
did
was
this.
crying because I didn't want to leave.
Yeah, things like that. So you'll remember
Even the
all those
adults,
things.
trust me.
Yeah, it's a different
Hits
story,
you-
but
hits you
look,
different.
life is about making memories. Well, baseball is definitely part of it. For us, we get the privilege of hanging out with other kids that aren't ours and ours too. And Darwin, one day you'll have yours and you'll have that same feeling
I
too.
already said I'm not working until he's turned 5.
Yeah, I said the same thing. And look, Julian's
Yeah.
about to play pre-T. They'll tell you when they're ready. I mean, parents, enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. We see all the time here, like we live in it with Cole. I talk to the parents all the time, say, hey, how you doing? And you know, like Robert's last thing to me was, I'm just enjoying the last little bit of it. And yeah, he's gonna see his son go play college baseball now, but there's something different about knowing that the high school time is over. Once you go into college, like that's a grown man playing now. So enjoy your kids' youth. Enjoy the moments you guys spend with them. Spend the money. Find out a way to do it. I remember one time my father had no money. He was super broke. He was just struggling really hard. And I remember we walked pretty much. We walked a hefty distance to the baseball field, and I enjoyed the walk. Like it was far. We walked at least an hour and a half. It was far. Um, but I remember that he did what he had to do to get us to the baseball field. I remember him coaching that season because he didn't have money to pay for the registration fee or any of that. So, and those things stick with you. Those things stick with your kids. So, do what you gotta do for your kids, parents. If you can't afford a trainer, you train them. Just simply go out there, play catch with them, and hit a ball with them. Don't worry about, as parents, don't worry about them doing it to the best of their ability. Worry about the effort being high, and you just enjoying being part or being able to do that with them. I think we forget that. Just enjoy being able to catch with your kid, being able to watch them catch, being able to watch him pitch, or just simply being in his presence. So, thank you guys. This is gonna be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy it and having a great Valentine's Day, and we're spending it together because this is what we love to do. So, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
One love.